Hi, this is Damon Rosen, Director of American Truth Project, and I'm speaking to you from Qiryat Shemona, Israel, comfortably nestled between Lebanon and Syria. But I'm not going to be talking about Hezbollah today. I'm going to be talking about the leader of another terrorist organization, Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority and the PLO, and his barrage of lies at the United Nations Security Council yesterday.
I call upon members who have yet to recognize the state of Palestine to do so. 70 years have passed since Palestine's Nakba took place. Since then, 6 million Palestinian refugees continue to suffer from the cruelty of exile and loss of human security. They continue to wander the world after the loss of their peaceful and stable lives in their homelands. They are part of the 13 million Palestinians whose country has yet to be recognized as a full member state of the United Nations.
13 million? 13 million Palestinians, Mahmoud? Really?
13 million Palestinians who yearn for an independent homeland, just like all other peoples of the world, and yearn for their state to take its rightful place in the international community. I say 13 million Palestinians. And you say that's not true, but we are 13 million Palestinians, whether we live inside Palestine or in other foreign countries. We are the descendants of the Canaanites that lived in the land of Palestine 5,000 years ago.
Really, Mahmoud? Now you're descendants of Canaanites after all these decades of self-identifying as being Arab, which is what you are?
The Palestinian people built their own cities and homelands and made contributions to humanity and civilization witnessed by the world. They established institutions, schools, hospitals.
Schools and hospitals? Like the ones that Hamas regularly shoots rockets out of? Like the schools that indoctrinate your children to hate Jews and be taught that Jews stole your land? Those schools and hospitals?
Our national institutions are recognized by international organizations for their merit and work, which is based on the rule of law, accountability, and transparency.
Accountability and transparency? Mahmoud, you've become a billionaire by being the leader of the kleptocracy known as the Palestinian Authority.
An empowerment of women and youth.
Children's and women's rights? You send your kids to camps where they learn how to kill Jews, and your women aren't even allowed to have television shows on in the Gaza Strip.
In an environment of tolerance, coexistence of civilizations, and non-discrimination.
Non-discrimination? Mahmoud, are you referencing the Palestinian Authority textbooks that teach hatred of Jews and that we've stolen your land? Or the non-discrimination where any future Palestinian state would be Judenrein?
We have thus been committed to fostering a culture of peace, rejection of violence.
Creating a culture of peace and rejecting violence? Is that what you call your pay-for-slay policy? Where you pay Palestinian terrorists to kill Israeli Jews? That's called incitement and incentivizing.
We have never refused any invitation to participate in negotiations. Please do not say that we rejected negotiations.
Mahmoud, you absolutely do reject negotiations. Just like you walked out of this United Nations Security Council meeting right after speaking and right before Israel and the United States spoke, you walked away, just like you did in 2008 when you were offered almost everything you could possibly want, and just like you walked away in 2014 and have yet to return.
Nobody has held Israel accountable when it occupied our territories in 1948. It has occupied territories in 1967. How can this happen? Israel shut the door on the two-state solution on the basis of the 1967 borders.
Israel occupied your territories? In 1948, upon its creation, Israel was invaded by over half a dozen Arab armies, and lands were occupied by Jordan from 1948 until 1967, when Israel liberated its own land in a defensive war. And that's why 1967 borders are off the table.
In a dangerous, unprecedented manner, this administration undertook an unlawful decision which was rejected by the international community to remove the issue of Jerusalem off the table without any reason.
Actually, Mahmoud, there is a reason. It's because Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. That's non-negotiable.
The United States has contradicted itself. It has contradicted its own commitments and has violated international law and the relevant resolutions with its decision regarding Jerusalem. It decided to recognize the city of Israel's capital and to transfer its embassy to the city, to Jerusalem. It did so ignoring that East Jerusalem is part of the Palestinian territory. It is occupied since 1967, and it is our capital, which we wish to be a city open to all faithful, or all the faithful of the three monotheistic religions, especially Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
Open to all religions? Do you mean open to all religions like between 1948 and 1967 when Jews couldn't even go to the Western Wall to pray? Or do you mean open to all religions like today when at the Jordanian Waqf-controlled Temple Mount, Jews will get arrested for praying?
It is also strange that the United States still lists the Palestine Liberation Organization on its terror list, and it imposes restrictions on the work of our mission in Washington under the pretext of congressional decisions since 1987. If the Congress thinks we are terrorists, how is the administration having relations with us? How is it visiting us? How is it providing assistance to us? How? How come? How do you help terrorists?
1987? The PLO should have been on that list from the 60s. And Mahmoud, it is a good question. I don't know why the United States deals with your terrorist organization.
Faced with Israel's policies and practices in violation of international law and its non-compliance and non-implementation of agreements signed, our Central Council, the highest Palestinian parliamentary body, decided several weeks ago to review the relationship with Israel. Yes, we will review the relationship, considering that we have become an authority without authority.
Actually, Mahmoud, at that meeting you're referencing, the PLO voted to unrecognize the State of Israel and to pull out of the Oslo Accords. But I do agree with you. You are definitely an authority with no authority.
Due to the U.S. decision regarding Jerusalem, Israel's ongoing illegal settlement activities. 1. Acceptance of the State of Palestine as a full member of the United Nations. And this is what we deserve. Don't you think we deserve to be a full member? Why not?
Why not accept it, Mahmoud? Because it would be a welfare and terror statelet used to be a base to destroy what would be left of Israel for your final solution. That's why not.
2. During the period of negotiations, all parties must refrain from unilateral actions, particularly those that would prejudge the outcome of a final solution. Foremost must be the cessation of settlement activities in the territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem, and suspension of the decision regarding Jerusalem and holding transfer of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
First of all, Mahmoud, Donald Trump doesn't take orders from two-bit terrorists like you. Secondly, why would the location of a country's embassy prevent you and your people from achieving this sought-after peace you speak of?
Third, the implementation of the Arab Peace Initiative as adopted. As adopted. From A to Z, and not from Z to A. According to the initiative,
Israel should agree to what 22 Arab states thinks it should do with what little land it has?
the Palestinian question must be solved, and then regional issues will be solved.
Regional issues will be solved? Yeah, I guess Assad will stop gassing his own people, and Iran will stop terrorizing the people of Yemen if Palestine suddenly becomes a state.
When the state of Palestine is recognized in line with the borders of 1967 and the problem ends, all Arabs and Muslims will become ready to recognize the state of Israel. All Arabs and Muslims. 57 Arab and Muslim countries.
Mahmoud, I think you're overestimating your importance to the Arab world, as well as the Muslim world's ability to ever unite as one.
We will continue to extend our hands to make peace, and we will continue to exert efforts to bring an end to the Israeli occupation based on the two-state solution on the 1967 borders and international legitimacy as per the relevant resolutions in order to achieve our national aspirations. However, at the same time, we will continue to oppose any attempt, regardless by whom, to impose solutions that contradict this legitimacy. Any solution that contradicts this legitimacy will be rejected.
So there you have it. Unless Mahmoud Abbas gets everything and exactly how he wants it, the Palestinian Authority will reject any deal. To see more of our videos or read our articles, please visit our website at AmericanTruthProject.com. This is Damon Rosen for American Truth Project. See you next time.